name is Robin Livingston. I'm a member of this Unitarian Universalist society. I use they, them pronouns. I am so grateful to share this time with you today. We have arrived at this moment from the many different places of our lives to make meaning and create healing in community. We are friends and neighbors, teachers and students, activists and peacemakers. We embrace the diversity among us and widen the circle further, knowing that each one of us deserves care and has something to offer. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. Just as you are welcome here. Come to this time, this space, this presence. Lay down your burdens at the door and open your heart to the dawning of a new day. Come, reaching for what sustains and nourishes you, and turn again towards the sun, unfurling in awe of the gift to be made anew. We come to this time to put down roots in community together, to nourish our spirits, to quench our thirst, and to plant seeds for our future. Come into this space seeking the abundance and sharing in the blessings of what we have. Come, let us worship together.
Please join me in the words to lighting our chalice. We light this flame to invite a world of peace, where we heal the wounds, where we share what we have with one another, where justice is another word for relationship, and we listen for what love has to say. I now invite you to rise in body, spirit, heart, and voice to sing our first hymn, From You I Receive, which is on the screen and in your order of service, and number 402 in the gray hymnal.
So, I have a story today. It's called The Giving Tree, and it has lots of beautiful pictures in it. So if you would like to come up front, especially kids, to come see the pictures, but anyone who wants to come see the pictures from the book, they're also on the screen, come on and join me up on the steps. Now, has anyone read this book before? Lots of us. Has anyone not read this book before? Some of us. Okay, that's super exciting. So this is a book that has lots of different, come on down. Come on down. Yeah, there's space for everybody. Yeah. So this is a book that has lots and lots of different interpretations. Can anyone tell me what interpretation means? It's a really big word. Yeah.
It means where you comprehend and understand something.
Yeah, so how you understand something, that's right. So this means there are lots and lots of different ways that we can think about this book, and there's no right or wrong way. So this book means lots of different things to different people, and I'm going to talk with the adults about what I think about it, but that doesn't mean that I have the only way of thinking about it or even the right way. So I encourage all of you to think about what this book means for you after we read it. So this is called The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches. There's his feet there. And eat apples. They would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much. And the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older. And the tree was often alone. Then, one day, the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and eat apples and play in my shade and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy. And she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I'm too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house. But you may cut off my branches and build a house, and then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time. And when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "I am too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I'm sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I am too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I'm too tired to climb," said the boy. "I'm sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I'm just an old stump. I'm sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could, "well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down. Sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. Laurel, do you want to tell us about what's going on in RE today?
Hello. So today we will be reading Faith Ringgold's Tar Beach, and then we have a second by her for later in the weeks. And we will be doing an art project mimicking and inspired by her work, and I'm very excited for it. So it'll be of all of them flying and getting to have their own times in the sky.
And the rest of the congregation, please join me in singing "For the Beauty of the Earth," which is number 21 in the gray hymnal.
Our reading today is Given the Trees by Sean Parker Dennison. I have been given the trees, silver snow glittering the black branches in the center of the courtyard, painting a gloss of moonlight over velvet night. I have been given something holy, shining in each and every moment of this day, the last one and the next, in my hair and the laughter of the children. I have been given blossoms, blushing pale promises of sweetness in autumn, tender skin breaking juice, filling my mouth and the moment with honey. I have been given so much, the odd, small moments given to no one else, like an inside joke with life itself, known only to my most secret self, and I am not alone. I have been given so much, and now all I want to do is open my heart, allow the flowing and overflowing to be unstopped and unstoppable, generous, free. I have been given the tree, the season, blossom and fruit, and this moment and the next. I have been given this life, and I will not stop giving and giving and giving back.
I didn't pick the giving tree for my story sermon today because it's a favorite of mine. I didn't even pick it because I like it. I picked it because for as long as I can remember, the giving tree has frustrated me. I have always found it upsetting how much the boy takes from the tree. I am too big to climb and play. Can you give me some money? I am too busy to climb trees. Can you give me a house? I am too old and sad to play. Can you give me a boat? And he doesn't say thank you, or offer anything in return, or even stick around to spend time with the tree. Come on, tree, set some boundaries. Tell him no for once. Offer the apple and maybe even some of your branches, but not all of them, and certainly not your trunk. How can you survive if you give up so much? I, myself, a giver by nature, have always had trouble with this story. I recognize the tree in my own habits, giving to others first, and not always saving enough of my time, energy, and care for myself. I often find myself teetering between giving things that feel sustainable for me to give and things that, in retrospect, were maybe my branches instead of my apples and would take me a long time to regrow. The gifts that the tree gives the boy are an unquantifiable sacrifice. Depending on how resilient she is, she might survive giving up her branches, but it's unlikely she can survive on her own once her trunk is removed. Does she have a community of tree root companions who can nourish her through her roots? Or is the gift of her trunk the sacrifice of her life? Like I said, this book gets under my skin. I didn't think I was going to read this story today until I read The Serviceberry, Abundance and Reciprocity in the Natural World by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And that's where our image today comes from. Robin Wall Kimmerer is a Potawatomi botanist and author. In this book, she tells stories of the serviceberry tree and berries as a way to talk about reciprocity and the gift economy. She says, quote, "In a serviceberry economy, I accept the gifts from the tree and then spread that gift around, with a dish of berries to my neighbor, who makes a pie to share with his friend, who feels so wealthy in food and friendship that he volunteers at the food pantry. You know how it goes." End quote. The serviceberry trees offer nectar and fruit to the pollinators and birds, who in turn spread pollen and seeds that help the tree reproduce. The nutrients move through the bodies of other beings in this interdependent web of creation, each giving a gift to each other in sharing the abundance. The farmer shares the berries with her neighbors, who share them with their loved ones. Robin Wall Kimmerer shares the story of the serviceberry with her readers, who maybe in turn share the story with their friends. Upon rereading The Giving Tree in preparation for this service, I noticed the detail that the parts of herself, the apples, the branches, the trunk, that she gives the boy are not asked for, but offered. She gives them willingly in response to his requests. "Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy. You may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy. Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And the tree was happy, but not really. The capitalist system that we exist in is built in direct contrast to a gift economy. We live in an extractive economy, one that depends on over-extracting beyond the capacity of our planet and creating a false sense of scarcity in order to accumulate wealth in the hands of the few at the expense of the many and of our precious planet. To find success in the capitalist system relies on continuous growth with no cap. If we were to see that in a biological system, we would call it cancer. Our planet is a finite system with fixed resources. We simply cannot take and take without regard to the consequences of our actions. So we have to find ways to carve out for ourselves a different way of existing, We have to find ways in our modern lives to share in the abundance of what we have and learn to ask for what we need and to feel and express gratitude for what we have and receive. I do wonder if the boy and the tree in our story could have found a path that would have been a little bit less fatal, or at least a bit more mutualistic. Robin Wall Kimmerer offers guidelines for an honorable harvest, which is the indigenous canon of principles and practices that govern the exchange of life for life. Know the ways of the ones who take care of you, so that you can take care of them. Introduce yourself. Be accountable as the one who comes asking for a life. Ask permission before taking. Abide by the answer. Never take the first one. Never take the last. Take only what you need. Take only that which is given. Never take more than half. Leave some for others. Harvest in a way that minimizes harm. Use it respectfully. Never waste what you have taken. Share. Give thanks for what you have been given. Give a gift in reciprocity for what you have taken. Sustain the ones who sustain you, and the earth will last forever. What if the boy in the story was accountable to the honorable harvest? Not held accountable by some other source, but accountable from within himself. What would change if he said thank you to the tree, or offered a gift in return that he might give back in gratitude, or pass on the gift he had been given? A conversation in the gift economy might sound more like, I can share my apples to feed your belly while you plant some corn. I can share the shade from my branches to shelter your home as you raise your children. Let them, too, swing from my branches and pick my apples and share in my shade. Tell them stories of how you played in my branches when you were their age. And when you die, let your body turn to soil among my roots, so that the nutrients of my body that nourished your body can go on to nourish another generation of apples and boys. The word boundaries has become kind of a buzzword in self-care spaces, but I'd like to talk about what it means for a minute. Boundaries, as Prentice Hemphill says, are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. They come from a recognition of your own limitations and what kinds of behaviors and patterns push you over some kind of edge. Boundaries are not a rule that other people have to follow to gain access to you. They are offerings we make to one another to let each other know this is what it takes for me to be able to show up in the ways that I want and need. It's like how we say at our closing circle, you can stay where you are, you can place your hands over your heart, or you can reach out to hold hands with someone near you. If the person next to you puts their hand over their heart, it doesn't mean that you're not part of the circle together. It means that what they want or need in that moment is simply to not hold hands. We hold love at the center of our closing circle by allowing each other to show up to that moment in the ways that feel good. Some of you may have encountered some of the boundaries that I have for myself around my relationship with this congregation. I use they, them pronouns, and using my pronouns correctly is not something that everyone here is fluent in quite yet. Calling me the wrong pronoun is typically not coming from a place of wanting to exclude me or intentionally make me feel unwelcome. It is more often coming from a place of not being comfortable yet with the pronouns or with the language acquisition task of practicing using pronouns that feel unfamiliar. But for me, getting called the wrong pronouns adds up. And if it happens a lot in one interaction or one day, it takes time for me to recover from that. And it makes it harder for me to show up next time. It requires a lot of tending to my soft spots. So I've set some boundaries that make it possible for me to show up in this community in the ways that are most important to me. After a particularly challenging social event here a couple of years ago, I decided that I can't come to social events here anymore. I get misgendered too often, and it hurts too much. So you don't see me at the congregational picnics, the Friday fun nights, the social suppers, or the auction. And maybe you've heard me say this before, and it might have been hard to hear. Running into my boundary might have been uncomfortable. This is not permission for you to invite me to come to one of those things after the service. Respecting my boundaries looks like hearing my no with grace. Setting this boundary looks like me continuing to say no, gently but firmly. It's the way that I have energy and capacity to show up here in other ways. If you're feeling tense or on edge right now, breathe. You're not in trouble. And I'm okay. This is how we do the work of community. My many no's make space for my enthusiastic, wholehearted yeses. Finding the edges of my boundaries is a continual process. It's one that I renegotiate with myself regularly, and my boundaries might change over time as we do the work. To bring it back to our tree metaphor, when we stop clear-cutting the forest and curb the invasive species, and make time and space for native plants to come back, they often do. When we intercept harm and make space for growth, repair becomes possible. Going back to our friend, the giving tree, what might a boundary have looked like for the tree? To figure out where that boundary needs to be, it might have started as some time of reflection for the tree. She might ask herself, what can I give freely, abundantly, regularly? What can I give sometimes if I give myself time to recover afterwards? What kind of nutrients do I need from my ecosystem in those moments of recovery to rebuild my bark, wood, branches, and leaves? Who do I need to reach out for help in finding those nutrients? Setting a boundary might look like the tree saying, I can't give you any more branches until I grow back a few more. When I have enough to share again, you can have another. For the boy who is used to the tree giving her apples, it might be hard at first to hear that no. He might feel defensive. Respecting that boundary might sound like the boy taking a breath and saying, thank you for sharing your apples and your branches, and thank you for letting me know that you need time to recover. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you rebuild. I wonder, what boundaries do you have of your own that we need to honor as a community? Do you have a boundary that you're proud of yourself for honoring? Are there boundaries you need to devote more time, energy, and care to maintaining? The Giving Tree story still doesn't sit easy with me. It reminds me that taking care of myself sometimes has to look like putting on my own oxygen mask before helping others, and that in and of itself can be hard work that goes against my programming. It serves as an omen for me of what might happen if I don't set boundaries and prioritize my own needs. Maybe just what we're missing in the giving tree is the focal width to see the community of fungi and tree roots who share water and nutrients below the surface that support the tree, even when she's just a stump. We don't fully know how forests work, but we do know more and more that trees are not individual creatures alone in the world. They communicate with each other in chemicals they produce and send out on the air, and they share water and nutrients through their root systems with the help of fungi. So maybe what the tree gave was not, in fact, more than she could offer. And maybe I can't make that judgment for her. In coming back to the giving tree story, I need to let the tree tell me and the boy what her boundaries are, and trust that she is finding the support that she needs. I need to make space for the tree and the boy to express what they need, and to trust them to know what those needs are. I need to trust that beyond the pages of this book, both the tree and the boy have other ways of getting what they need, and hope that they can grow into asking for them. Spirit of life, when we reach for healing, may we be met with tenderness and care. When we ask for what we need, may we be received with dignity and respect. And may we find sustainable ways to meet those needs. When we bump into the boundaries of others, may we soften defensiveness with compassion. And when we set boundaries, may we be held in a love that stays and does not let us go. Amen, and blessed be. Take a breath with me, friends. And now I invite you to rise in body and spirit to sing When Our Heart is in a Holy Place on the screen and number 1008 in the teal hymnal.
And we listen with a loving mind.
Our prayer was written by Lynn Cox. Spirit of life, ancestor of the stars and the sun, you who embrace the vastness of space, and along with it, be with us today. Hold us in our worry, our exhaustion, our grief. Keep us close as we sit with our truth, whatever that may be. Lead us to rest in the quiet, to find solace and renewal in this time of shifting light and dark. You whose arms open with the spinning galaxies, help us to make room, as you do for all that is. Open our hearts to our loved ones, our neighbors, the beings with whom we share this planet. Lead us to reach out to others in compassion. Turn us toward one another in mercy, right relationship, and reconciliation. You who have seen the rising and setting of suns, of seasons, of civilizations, remind us of all that we have learned from the history of the world and from our own histories. Give us the courage to face our mistakes and to repair them whenever possible. Help us understand our interdependence, our gravitational relatedness with all of the other spinning lives around us, and lead us to treat those relationships with care. In this space filled with the people among us who shine like stars, this space filled with the sparkle of love and care, we give thanks for this moment to be together. May our senses be open to the beauty of this day, this season, this world. Blessed be. Please remain seated to sing our meditation hymn, Spirit of Life, number 123.
My name is Mary Beth. I am a member of the Dedicated Offering Committee, and we are really pleased to support Luce as our dedicated offering recipient. And Anne Louise will introduce our speaker.
I kept thinking about the fact that this month our dedicated offering is to Luce while Robin was sharing their sermon. Immigrants, many of whom have come to this country and provided tremendous gifts and service. What are they receiving from us? So, Millie Thayer is an ardent volunteer, full-time, more than full-time, for Luce, and has been very involved here in this space, helping us do, when we were doing the lanterns for Luce, and is also an ardent member of Show Up, Sing Out, going to bring music to vigils and standouts, and She is going to share with you a little bit about Luce, which is an incredible immigrant-led organization.
Thank you, Anne Louise. Can people hear me okay? I never trust these things. Okay. Go forward. Okay. I have notes, otherwise I'll lose my way, go on too long. I wanted to start in the spirit of the sermon with gratitude to this congregation and Reverend Rachel and all the other people here who have given so much to Luce already. You've given space, you've given your time, you've given moral support, and perhaps also donations, I don't know. But those things, you know, leaving the money aside, you know, it's way more than that, which people can give. And I really appreciate this congregation for doing that. So, so I'm curious, how many of you here have been to one of our trainings or events, just to give me a sense of, yeah, so there's some knowledge here in the room already, and maybe others who are less familiar with Luce. So I'm going to give a brief kind of summary of who we are and what we do, and then I'll talk about why funding is especially needed right now. Luce is a statewide network. It covers all of Massachusetts. It runs a hotline, an Ice Watch hotline that people can call, and we've received about 8,000 calls since probably March when it got set up. It's also a series of verifier teams in the majority of communities around the state. We have 5 hubs in the Pioneer Valley: Greenfield, Northampton, East Hampton, Holyoke, Springfield, and Amherst. So it's active in many places. The key characteristic, as Anne Louise said, is that it's immigrant-led. It was founded by immigrant-led organizations, and it continues to be guided by them as far as our policies and our principles. The anchoring organization here in the Pioneer Valley is the Pioneer Valley Workers Center in Springfield, and Neighbor to Neighbor in Holyoke also provides a lot of support. When someone calls the hotline, teams of volunteer verifiers who've been trained in de-escalation techniques go out to verify what's actually going on. Many times it's not ICE, and so dispelling rumors is just as important as confirming their presence. ICE wants us to think they're everywhere, but they're actually not. So that's important information for immigrant communities to know so that they can continue to live their lives and to organize so that they can defend and protect themselves. Many of you probably saw the video of Rumeysa Ozturk, who was abducted. She is the Tufts grad student who was abducted in Somerville in March. And she was targeted because she wrote an op-ed criticizing Palestine, I think, the situation in Palestine. Well, that video was actually discovered by a team of Luce verifiers who went out when somebody called the hotline, and by the time they got there, it was all over, but they went and canvassed door to door, and somebody gave them this video, and it went viral, and that created a lot of public pressure on the administration at a time when their tactics were not widely known yet. So that's the kind of thing that Luce does. In many cases, our documentation, just people using their cell phones to film an interaction between ICE agents and a target, has really helped people in their court cases. It's helped to prevent or to get them released. In some cases, we've been able to prevent detentions. So why is funding needed right now? Well, let me give you an example. Maybe some of you, I know a lot of people because they contact people like me and complain, signed up to be a volunteer months ago and never heard back. Or maybe heard back, but way longer than you wanted to wait. That reflects a structural problem which we have, which is that Luce is all largely volunteer run. We have a very small staff. Some of the immigrant rights organizations loan their staff to us, which means they're less able to do immigrant organizing. So it's difficult for us, and sometimes our digital systems are not the most up to date. So these are problems that have deprived us of the energy of some people who get lost in the shuffle. So that's just one example. We have trained at least 4,000 volunteers statewide, and that's a lot to coordinate and keep track of. There have been hundreds trained in the Pioneer Valley. But again, we need people who can help us coordinate that, people who can do the research, who can help us update our systems so that we can keep better track of, who has expressed interest, who wants to get involved. As we watch what's happening in Minnesota and face the prospect of a probable surge here in the near future, here meaning the state, we don't know, what might happen in this area. We can't afford to lose even one volunteer. So we are also seeing increasing demand from the public for trainings. We give bystander trainings for anyone who wants to know what they should do if they see ICE in the course of their daily lives. There is one happening next Wednesday at the First Congregational Church, which holds 400 people. It sold out over a week ago, meaning we have more than 400 people registered, and it's no more room. So we are having another one, by the way, March 7th. So if you want to go to something like that, I know there was one here, so maybe you already had that chance, but if not, there will be another opportunity. So to meet the moment, we need urgently to upgrade digital security, digital communications. We need to hire more full-time staff, both in this region and also statewide, to do all these things that I've been talking about. So I would urge you to give as generously as you can, in whatever way you can. Maybe it's not even money, maybe it's some other way. And I think just to end, the news has given us all more than enough reasons to want to fight for justice. As one of the people said, there's just more than enough things going on. My own motivation for supporting immigrant rights comes from my extended Central American family here in this region, who I acquired, I should say, decades ago when I lived in Central America, and they welcomed me to their country. So it's personal, but it's also because I want to live in a country, in a world where they are welcomed and celebrated instead of being exploited, discarded, and violently abducted. And I think that's something that probably we all feel. And by supporting Luce and other efforts for immigrant rights, we are all engaged in a practice of hope that we can create that kind of society. So thank you for everything you do.
Another world is possible. Each week, we collect an offering and we split it with an outside organization to help us remember that we can't make the world a better place on our own. During February, our congregation generously shares half of our offering basket with Luce. Half of the money collected in our offering today supports the life of our congregation, The other half of the money will support Luce in their vital work for immigration justice. Please give generously today in the basket, by text, by check, by writing plate in the memo, or through our website, uusocietyamherst.org/donate. Please join me in the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We are about to sing our closing song. You are welcome to stay right where you are, to be held in the love of this congregation, or you're welcome to rise and move into a circle along the outer aisle, place your hands over your heart, or hold hands with someone near you and sing "This Day We Come." Together today in spiritual community, may we depart this sacred space knowing that blessings shall follow us all the days of our lives if we live in and return to right relationships, if we extend grace and forgiveness to ourselves and to others, if we behold mercy as a spiritual superpower, if we emanate the greater love that holds us close. May our lives radiate the blessings that we have been given. May kindness and compassion fall gently from us. May there be peace in the world, and may it begin again with us. Go in peace.
Very nice.